הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
And so, my friends, it is with the words of the 117th Psalm, Hine ma tov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, that I want to welcome you all here this afternoon to TBI, to celebrate Shabbat, to celebrate family, to celebrate community, but most particularly to celebrate with a young man as he becomes a bar mitzvah. And what a celebration it is. Through this afternoon's service, you will learn, you will see, you will share what has been a remarkable journey, one that and I know his parents and also his tutor Jade have really thoroughly enjoyed traveling with him on, accompanying him on. But as we arrive at this moment, there is a role for all of us, and not just for him. Because, Oli, I made you some promises earlier in the week. I said that this wasn't going to be a show, and this wasn't going to be a performance. Those were things you were a little nervous about. You knew exactly from the very first conversation we had why you wanted to have a bar mitzvah. But you weren't exactly sure or enthusiastic that you wanted to be performing in front of a bunch of your parents and your grandparents' friends and your family. And so the promise I made to you is they're not going to be an audience. They're going to be a congregation. They're going to participate as much as they can. When you ask them to read with you, they're going to read with you. When you ask them to stand, they're going to stand. And when you ask them to sit, they're going to sit, because they are going to be just like the people sitting alongside of you right now have journeyed with you. They're going to join with all of us in that journey and travel those last few meters and minutes together. Because today we are really a congregation, a community, a family. Your congregation, your community, your family. And it is incredibly wonderful that we can be here together. As brothers, as sisters, as cousins, as aunts and uncles. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Please join us in song.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. 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 הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לי, יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לי, יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
For those of you less familiar with our Mincha or afternoon Shabbat service, it is a bit of a briefer service and starts almost automatically with its focus point, with the reading of Torah. So over the last few years at TBI, we've kind of delayed that start through the singing of psalms and songs, and in a few moments we're going to follow the words of the 117th Psalm we just began with some psalms from this morning's service. So hopefully you picked up a prayer book as you came in. We're going to be on page 214 in just a few moments, 214, and as you open that you'll see that we have both the Hebrew, the English and the transliteration of our liturgy, encouraging everyone to join in wherever and whenever they feel comfortable. But there's only one final act of preparation, because I look at our bar mitzvah sitting next to his father. His father is looking as dapper as he is, which is an improvement on the norm. but he is absent of the tallis that his father is wearing. So I'd like to invite you up onto the Bima Ali together with your mum and dad for the presentation of your talit.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishad mitzvotav tzivanu, v'tateh be'tzitzi.
Amen. Knuckles? Fist pump? That was the only thing they didn't have to rehearse. It makes your bar mitzvah, don't run away. Your dad's done a great job on your Superman cake. We are, as I said, picking up where we left off this morning with the Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, the Psalm for this Shabbat day, page 214.
שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשבחך עליון, ולזמר לשבחך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשבחך עליון, ולזמר לשבחך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון מכינות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועליך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. איש בער לא ידע, וכסיל לא יבין את זאת. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
And from the Psalm 92, with a little bit of help from your friends, we continue on the following page, on page 215, with, apparently you need to step up, with Psalm 145, Ashrei.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, עוד יהללו חסלה. אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו. תהילה לדוד, עממך, אלוהי המלך, ואלוהי שמך לעולם ועד. בכל יום אברכך, ואלוהי שמך לעולם ועד. גדול אדוני ומעולם אלוהים, ולגדולתו אין חקר.
גדולתו ישבח מעשיך, וגבורתך יגידו.
הדר כבוד הודיך, ודברי נפלאותיך עשיך. ויזוז נועתך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה. זכר בכתובה יביעו, בצדקתך ירננו.
חנון ברחום אדוני, ערך אפיים דרך. חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך וחסידיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו וגבורתך יגידו להודיע לבני אדם גבורותיו ומלכותו מלכותך מלכות כל עמים וממשלתך בכל טובתו.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים סוף לכל הכפופים.
עיני כל אליך יסבנו ואתה נותן להם את ידך ביתו. פותח את ידיך
ומשביע לכל חי רצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו וחסי בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קורא לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון נראה יעשה ואין שבתה ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו
ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד. תהילת אדוני ידברי וברך כל בשר שקדושו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה ואתה ועד. Hallelujah.
And so as we move our way with enthusiasm and with spirit and even with a couple of keys through these Psalms of Shabbat, I stand here to remind us all that there is a purpose. We began with a psalm about community. We continued with a psalm, Mizmor Shir, about time and space, Shabbat. We arrived at the words of Ashrei, which the gentleman led us through. It's an acrostic, literally the Aleph to Tav, the A through to Z of the enthusiasm we want to bring to this celebration. And our final psalm of preparation, well, it's the last of all of the psalms, Psalm 150, can be found on page 218, and it's a psalm of appreciation, a psalm of community intended to bring all of us together, no matter where our day has already taken us, to have us arrive at this common place and at this common moment. The psalmist wrote about using all the musical instruments available to him to give thanks for being present. In more recent generations, one of the great songwriters of the 20th century took this same words and gave them a melody which has carried across the oceans and across the decades, allowing disparate people from different traditions and different worlds speaking different languages to find a common appreciation. Hallelujah. Psalm 150.
Hallelujah el bekodsho, Hallelujah birkia uzo, Hallelujah, Hallelujah bigvurotav, Hallelujah keov kulo, Hallelujah, 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 בתקע שופר, Hallelujah, בנבל וכינור, Hallelujah, בתוף ומחול, Hallelujah, במינים ועוגב, Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. בציצלי שמה, הללו בציצלי תרועה, הללויה. כל הנשמה תהלליה, הללויה, 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 הללויה,
Please turn to page 342 and please be rising.
Page 342. Rise.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, אמן. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה, בגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי בקודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן ועלמה, ויאמרו אמן.
We remain standing as we turn forward to page 344. We have arrived at our Amidah for the afternoon service of Shabbat. And as I like to say, we pray these words of tradition as if everything depends on God, but we act as if everything depends on us.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופיה כי תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה המתים.
Page 350.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשממו, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך עולם. אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר שירך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו
האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue with Kedushat Hayom and the sanctification of this day with the reading on the foot of page 353.
For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world, which our hearts and hands, we give praise. For the peace in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For the gift of Shabbat, which renews us for life, we offer blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Shabbat. On page 354, we continue with our prayer of thanksgiving.
Etzeh Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael u'tefilata be'ahava tekabel u'tehi leratzon תמיד עבודת ישראל. ישראל עמך, אין קרוב לכל כואב פני לבדיך וחננו שפוך רוחך עלינו ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון.
On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess and cleans our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer to life in peace and in joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'adcha levadcha be'ira na'avod. Blessed the Eternal One, whose presence returns life to Zion.
Shalom Rav.
Page 358.
Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Israel amcha. Tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך אדון, לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
As I look out at this congregation this afternoon, I am aware that many of you know and appreciate that our minhag here at TBI is to generally move through our liturgy either on the right-hand page or the left-hand page, either with the traditional words of tradition, often with the alternative melody, but the traditional words, and only sometimes lingering on the left-hand page with the interpretive words, the modern poetry or the commentary. But as Ollie and I found ourselves studying and working and learning and talking about what it was to become a bar mitzvah, and he shared those conversations with his tutor Jade, who sits on the bimah with us this afternoon, he came back into my office one week and said, I'd like to do the reading on the top of page 359. I looked at him and said, we are. Every single Shabbat, we do the Birkat Kohanim or the Birkat Mishpacha, particularly when there is a simcha such as today. And it's my pleasure, my privilege as the rabbi of congregation together with parents to offer it to the person celebrating. And he turned to me and said, no, I want to do the Birkat Kohanim, the Birkat Mishpacha. I want to have the opportunity to bless and to give thanks, and not just to be the recipient of that. And so we're going to give him that opportunity. We're going to be doing it in the English to allow everyone here to be able to participate. And the Birkat Kohanim, perhaps the oldest blessing in Judaism, first offered by Aaron to his sons, and then the priests to the people, and in more recent generations from parents to children, is usually said with the line in Hebrew. It's a threefold blessing, and then the response, Ken yehi ratzon. May that blessing be God's will. May that really be God's will. In the English, in the middle of page, it sounds a little bit more like it was written by Yoda than by Aaron, because it says, may it be so. So if we can just allow the English translation a bit of a space and respond to this young man's intention. He has blessings for us, And we, as his family, his friends, and his community, want it so very much to be so.
Our God and God of our ancestors, bless us with this threefold blessing. May God bless you and keep you.
May it be so.
May God's radiance shine upon you and be gracious to you.
May it be so.
May God's presence be upon you and grant you peace.
May it be so. Amen, amen, and amen. We take a few moments to pause for silent prayer. You may choose to focus on the words of page 360 or 361, or turn rather to the words of your own heart. To all these thoughts, all these prayers, we ask that the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, our rock, our Redeemer.
Oseh shalom bimromah, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imu amen. Oseh shalom bimromah, יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. 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 יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
ועל כל בני אדם. We turn forward now to page 364 for Seder Kriyat Torah LaMincha, the order of reading Torah on this Shabbat afternoon. And I invite Yisrael, Bar Mitzvah's great uncle, to come up and open the ark as the congregation rises.
ויהי בנשוא אהרון ויאמר משה, קומה אדוני, ויפוצו אויביך, וינוסו משונאיך מפניך. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה. ודבר אדוני לירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
The Ten Commandments.
אנוכי אדוני אליך, אשר הוצאתיך מארץ מצרים, עמי עבדים. I am your eternal God, who led you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Lo yihye lecha Elohim acharim al panai. You shall have no other gods besides me. Lo tisa et shem Adonai elecha lashav. You shall not swear falsely by the name of Adonai, your God. Zechor et Yom HaShabbat lekadosho. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Kabad et avicha ve'et imecha. Honor your father and your mother. Lo tiransach, you shall not murder. Lo tina'af, you shall not commit adultery. Lo tina'af, you shall not steal. Lo ta'aneh ve'richa ed shachor, you shall not bear false witnesses against your neighbor. Lo ta'amod, you shall not covet.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, Unromem Shemo יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד ככל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל לאום. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד ככל בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל לראש. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקדשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקדשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד.
So, spoiler alert for those of you who weren't in shul this morning. While we did begin at the very beginning, because it's a very good place to start, with Parashat Bereshit this morning, as we've moved through the day, we've already moved into the second sidra, the second portion of our people's story. We read Torah as a community traditionally 4 times a week, beginning on Shabbat afternoon, then as we're doing today, then continuing on Monday morning, Thursday mornings, and then finally with the full reading on Shabbat morning. So as geography and time and space would have it, this young man will be one of the first people in the world in year 5,780 according to our counting, to offer a commentary on the weekly parasha of Noach, because I don't know that many congregations in New Zealand that do Mincha. and that means we're probably first. But before we get to his reading of Torah and a series of aliyot in celebration of your bar mitzvah, I want to let you know that they really are doing their part. They are trying to stand up when you tell them to stand up, although you're speaking very quietly. I'll speak louder. Yeah, that would be good. They're trying to participate wherever they can. They want to be part of the congregation, and they desperately want to hear what you think about Torah. Because what you have to say about Torah, I promise, is far more interesting than what I have to say about Torah. So why don't you let them know what you think?
Shabbat Shalom and Tzarayim Tovim. In a few moments, I am going to be reading from the Torah for the first time and formally become a bar mitzvah. As you have already heard, my Torah portion is called Parashat Noach, and as you might suspect, it is all about the story of the flood. For those of you who have not read the book or seen the movie, let me give you a quick recap. Here are the basics. A long time ago, there was a time when everyone in the world were bad people, except for Noah and his family. The Torah describes him as a righteous in his generation, and so God decided to use him to restart humanity, while sending a massive flood to wipe out everyone else. God tells Noah to build a huge ark and put 2 of every regular animal and 7 of every kosher animal on the ark together with his family. Once Noah finishes this task, the rain begins to fall and continues to fall for 40 days and 40 nights, destroying everything that was not on the ark. Then, once the rain stopped, Noah eventually sent out a series of birds to see if they were dry land. Eventually, a dove returned with an olive tree branch in its mouth, symbolizing that everything is okay and that the water was reconnecting. One of the most amazing things that I noticed about reading the parasha of Noah was Noah was already 600 years old. I used to think my dad was old, but he's nothing on Noah. Seriously though, as I read and learnt about my Torah portion, I found a couple of aspects of the story really interesting. For example, let's focus on the flood for a few minutes. To be honest with you, I didn't really believe that there was a big flood in the world, and Noah had to build a massive ark with 2 of every animal. For one reason, how could you get 2 of every animal in the ark? They would have been eating each other to survive. Noah would have had to make a lot of food for the animals and for himself. Honestly, the story has a whole lot of holes in it, but Rabbi Gerst challenged me not to focus on the facts of the story, but rather the lessons we can learn from it. Another aspect of my Torah portion that sparked my curiosity was Noah's incredible age. He lived to 600 years old. When the flood came, he lived another 350 years. I intentionally thought these numbers were totally made up, but again, Rabbi Gerst challenged me to focus on the lessons of Torah rather than the accuracy of the facts. So when I thought about it, I decided that Noah needed to live to 600 years old because, as it says in the Torah, no one else in his generation were righteous, and God wanted to give him a chance to try and convince them to change their ways. When this plan failed, God then needed Noah to build the ark and dedicate himself to rebuilding humanity. This would have easily required another 350 years, which is why God gave him a special blessing to make him live longer. So how does this all relate to my bar mitzvah? Well, let me explain. We are unlikely to be given the blessing of a greatly extended life, so we can't wait for God to change the world. Instead, we need to change it now. In the parasha, it required an ark and a whole lot of animals. Today, all it requires is us to make choices about the way we use energy, dispose of rubbish, and care for the environment. So when I really thought about it, it sort of makes sense to me that we read this story every year, because it totally relates to the real world in which I live in. No, we don't live in a time where everyone is bad, but there are enough of us who have been acting badly for generations that we have begun to impact the world. What am I talking about? Well, I'm referring to all the actions and inactions that are the tragic cause of the current climate crisis. the actions and inactions that may cause our modern day flood, the melting of the polar ice caps and rising of sea levels. These things are happening because we are not taking good care of this earth. We keep on leaving rubbish in the sea, and we couldn't care less. Maybe we are commanded to read this Torah portion each year so we can learn the lessons of the past and change our actions today. Maybe God is actually trying to teach us a lesson by slowly making the ocean rise in our modern day flood. I don't think we are going to build another ark, so maybe God is doing it slowly to try and give us a chance to make a difference. That is why I started believing in the flood. My Torah portion might not be filled with facts, but it is filled with very important lessons that we need to respond to before the next big flood happens. The lessons that I have learned is that God is not going to come to me and say, "You will live to 950 years old." So I have to make the most of it and be a good human. Don't litter, because it's not good for the ocean and the earth, and it is destroying it. The government can recycle plastic bags and other waste products to make devices to collect rubbish from the ocean. We, as a community, can come together more often and collect rubbish. Families can be encouraged to use their recycling bins properly, and I, personally, have gone to the beach and collected bottle caps and rubbish from the sand, preventing them to go into the ocean.
Not everything in your Torah portion is exactly factual. I don't disagree, but I also think you found some extraordinary truths within it and challenged us to think about those as, the water rises one more time. So let us turn to that story of the flood and turn to our reading in Parasha Noach. We'll be picking up in the book of Genesis in chapter 6, verse 9 from the very start, and we're going to be reading the opening 12 verses of the Sidra, which is the tradition on Shabbat afternoon. And we have a series of aliyot leading up to when this young man will be called to Torah. But before we hand the yad over to you, I'm going to ask you to step down. Just step to the side and invite your father to come up to Torah, who has taken on the responsibility of being our first reader. For those of you that would like to follow along in the Torah commentary, just to make sure that Daron's not making any mistakes, you can follow on page 57 in the larger book, the one that's in the cages under many of your seats. And for this first aliyah in celebration of this simcha, we would like to call to Torah Yamdu Torah Shmuel ben Tzvi, Yossi, and to invite up with him Murat to come and celebrate their grandson's bar mitzvah. Probably have to just say that's where you're reading from, correct? Yeah.
ברוך אתה אדוני, ברכו את אדוני המבורך,
ברוך אדוני מבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Before you begin this reading, do you want to say a word about the yad that you're holding?
This is the yad given to me on my bar mitzvah that I used. I'm going to use it now, and then I'm going to give it to you, and then you're going to put it in the cupboard, and then maybe in 30 years' time it'll come out.
Simchat Torah next year.
Where are we? Here we are. Ele todot Noach, Noach ish sadik, tamim haya bedorotav, et ha'elohim hitralech Noach, vayoled Noach shlosha vanim, את שם, את חם ואת יפת, ותשחט הארץ לפני האלוהים, ותמלא הארץ חמס. וירא אלוהים את הארץ, והנה נשחטה, כי השחית כל בשר את דהור על הארץ.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Valeah. May the Holy One who blessed our forefathers and foremothers bless you, Yossi, who was called to Torah, and you, Murat, who came up alongside in support and in celebration of this occasion. Because it is what we like to say, the celebration of the Shashelet HaKabbalah, the chain of tradition and the passing on of tradition from one generation to the other. And the two of you know your grandson very well. You know that if he had the choice, he would not be standing up here in front of all of these people. You know that he'd be sitting there, but you've also seen that once he made the choice, and he did make the choice to do this, he committed himself to taking on this challenge in an incredibly serious way with wonderful dedication. And I don't think that either Jade or I have had the opportunity in recent years to work with a young man who's so committed to wanting to get the most out of it. That's not something that just happens. Those are values which are inculcated in a young person through their family. That's what you have done to him and through his parents, and have helped us as a community and as a society know that we have young people that are prepared to take on challenges, whether it be the challenge of connecting to tradition, whether it be the challenge of making the sense out of a story which he didn't fully agree with, or whether it be the challenge of accepting the responsibility for caring for this world and this planet and making it better, leaving it better than that which he received. Those are incredible things to have a lot of pride in. And our hope and our prayer is that you and those who you represent up here today continue to take a remarkable amount of pride in this young man as he grows, as he continues to take on challenges, and as he continues to demonstrate the wonderful, extraordinary maturity that he is developing. We ask that God bless you, that God bless all those that are dear to you, and we say together, V'nomar, Amen. Congratulations and Mazel Tov. Thank you very much. The yard has passed. You can congratulate them. The yard has passed. The pointer, the reader, you need to get yourself a little taller. And we are going to move forward a generation as we ready ourselves to having this young man come to Torah. And so we call to Torah Daron ben Shmuel, your father, and invite your mother to come up and to join him as we celebrate the continuing passing of the chain of tradition. Literally, the baton has been handed to you. It's not the biggest yard I've ever seen, but it'll do the job just fine. Can you show your father and your mother where it is you're reading from? Okay, and the blessing, please.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevarach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevarach L'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevarach L'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevarach L'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam. Asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Elohim leNoach ketz kol basar ba'lafanai ki mal'ah ha'aretz Hamas nifnehem vehineni maschitam et haaretz aseh lecha teva aseh gofe hinim ta'aseh et hatava unekava ata mibeit umichutz bekofe veze asher ta'aseh ota shlosh me'od ama Orek hateva 50 ama rachba ushoshim ama komatan soha ta'aseh leteva ve'al ema techela milma'ala uvatach hateva basita tasim tachtim shenim ushloshim ta'aseh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayai olam nata batochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, V'Leah. May the Holy One who blessed our forefathers and foremothers also bless the two of you in honor of Torah, in honor of Shabbat, in honor of community, in honor of family, in honor of friends, in honor of those that have come up before you, but most particularly on this Shabbat afternoon, in honor of this young man who is going to be called to Torah after you, and that which he is celebrating today. The smile on your face, the sense of pride and satisfaction is palpable. Every one of us in this room can feel it, as were the nerves when you walked in, when you saw the dread and the terror in your son. As the clock turned over to 4:30 and he said to me, not can we start, but rather, why haven't we started yet? And all of the joy that comes with it. But there's also something that, with all of that, and all jokes aside, I don't think there is a single occasion on this journey towards Bar Mitzvah where this young man has been by himself. That one or other of you have been alongside him, sitting in his lesson, encouraging him along, challenging him to make the most of the opportunity, challenging him to think about it as broadly as he possibly could, and to really revel in the experience that you have chosen to provide for him. And that is an extraordinary thing. And ordinarily I would stand here and wish you Mazel Tov, but and I will, but ahead of wishing you Mazel Tov on your son becoming Bar Mitzvah, on behalf of community, on behalf of congregation, on behalf of the title and the responsibility that I carry as a rabbi, I want to precede that Mazel Tov with thank you. A genuine, sincere thank you. Because the type of encouragement and support that you've given your son is all we could ever hope for. Because if parents are able to make that sort of dedication, yes, all jokes aside, then our future will be an extraordinary thing. You have a diverse, rich heritage, and your son owns it all. And today we celebrate every single part of it. And we hope that you continue to feel the joy, sense of pride, and his sense of accomplishment, not just this afternoon and this evening, but each time you see him take a challenge like this and master it in his unique, quiet way, but master it in the way that he is today. We ask that God bless you, that God bless all those that are dear to you, and we say together, V'nomar, Amen, Mazel Tov. What? Oh. You can't stand there.
You gotta go away so you can come here.
Why can't you stand there? Thank you. He can't stand there because he cannot become Bar Mitzvah unless I call him to Torah. And if he's there already, it's a kind of a non-event. Yamdu LaTorah, Habar Mitzvah Hayom, Asher Ben Daron. You just got nervous again.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu
Olam. Asher.
שבחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו לתורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. I'm going to ask your mother to hold that side, ask your grandfather to come forward and hold this side.
ואני הנני מביא את המבוא מים אל הארץ לשחט כל בשר אשר בו רוח חיים מתחת השמיים כל אשר בארץ יקבע והקימותי את בריתי איתך ובתה אל הטובה אתה ובניך ואשתך ושי בניך איתך ומכל החי מכל בשר שניים מכל תבוא אל הטובה לחיות איתך זכור ונקבה יהיו מהעוף למינה ובהמה למינה, מכל רמס האדמה למינה, שניים מכל יבואו אליך לחיות. ואתה אכלך מכל מחל אשר יאכל, וספת אליך, והיה לך מחמים אחת אשר נובח כל אשר ציווה אותו אלוהים כן עשה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. May the Holy One who blessed our forefathers and foremothers bless you also, Ali, in honor of Torah, in honor of Shabbat, in honor of community, in honor of family, in honor of friends, but most particularly in honor of the kavod, the honor that you have given yourself in earning and receiving the title of Bar Mitzvah, in not only accepting the Aliyah Torah, the call to Torah, but taking it on in the way that you did. And at 3 points during that Aliyah, twice during the Aliyah and one in the blessing, you stopped and you paused and you got a little disappointed and angry at yourself. And that I'm thanking you for, because you gave me the opportunity to remind you of a conversation we had 4 weeks ago, when you sat in my office and said, I'm not so sure that I've learned all of this. I think I might have just memorized it all. And I said, no, you've learned it. You've worked hard for it. And you just demonstrated the fact how much you've learned along this journey. You picked up a card and you did a blessing and you started doing it off memory. And in the middle of trying to remember it, guess what happened? It went out the other side of your head. You looked down at the page and you know what you discovered? You could read it. You had learned how to read it. All you had to do was do that which you had worked all year doing. And you did it not once, but 3 times. Each time you felt yourself just going on autoplay, you pulled yourself back in. You reconnected to this ancient story and you made it your own. In the way that you read Torah, in the way that you taught Torah, in the way that you took on every single aspect of this journey. And that's what makes you a bar mitzvah. Not the fact that all of these people have taken a Shabbat afternoon to come together. Not the fact that a few of them probably got you some presents. Not the fact that your parents have probably put on a pretty decent feed in the room next door. None of those things make you bar mitzvah. They're all nice. They're all pretty. They're all going to be fantastic. You're going to remember them. But what I want you to remember most is that you were able to find your place in Torah. That you were able to find your place in family. That you were able to find your place in tradition. Because the food will pass and the presents will get used up. But those things will never leave you. And that is what you've given yourself today. And that is what it means to become a bar mitzvah. And so I'm going to ask Idor to come and stand up alongside of us. I can hear those lollies kind of rumbling in the room. I know these people want to shower you with blessings. But I want to go back before then to the Birkat Kohanim, to the priestly blessing. To that blessing first offered by Aaron to his sons. And then from his sons, the priests to people, and in more recent generations from parents to children, and now surrounded by your parents and your grandparents, 2 generations of your family. I'm going to ask you to step down. I'm going to ask them to place their hands upon your head and join with us as we offer this blessing to you on this day as you become bar mitzvah. May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the brightness of our tradition shine down upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai, Yisa Yasem lecha Shalom.
And Ali, wherever it is that this journey takes you, may you always feel the support of your parents. May you always feel the tickling encouragement of your grandparents. May you always feel the love of this people, this community. May you always feel the strength of the purpose of our tradition. But most of all, may you always feel the sense of personal peace, satisfaction and pride that you have today. And to that we say, Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will, as we wish you Mazel Tov.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ולכל ישראל. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ולכל ישראל. דוד מלך ישראל, חי וקיים. דוד מלך ישראל, חי וקיים.
Mazel Tov, one and all. We had a wonderful display of why there remain so few Jews in the Australian cricket team. No one can throw, no one can catch. Maybe there's someone in this the congregation who could bat. But Mazel Tov Ali, and we're going to invite a few people up here to help us continue with our service and our celebration. Your uncle Rami has schlepped all the way over from New York, so we're going to invite him to come up and help us lift Torah. I hope sincerely your left hand is strong, because we're right at the start of our people's story. We're turning back to our prayer book. We are on page 376. I should say 370, and we rise as we give honor to the Torah, and Rami will show us that which we have just read.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאללה לי 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 לי.
While Torah is being dressed, I'd like to invite Reuben and Mark to come up as we offer blessings for our country and for the people and state of Israel. Torah could rise. We begin first with a blessing for our country. It can be found on page, in fact it's an additional reading, which Reuben will offer first.
For our country, let us bless our country of Australia and all its people. Let us have dreams in this historic land of dreamers. Let the hot winds from the desert fire our imagination. Let the red soil of the plains keep us rooted to the things that matter. Let the waters of our rivers, lakes and oceans flow into our hearts, giving us depth and understanding. Keep our eyes open to the beauty of this land. May we strive to keep its beauty present and strong. Help us remember those who have lived in this land before us and those who have made it their home in more recent times. May we never be lazy in the work for peace. May we honour those who have died in defence of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they lead with justice and compassion. Let our compassion be like encompassing coastlines of our continent. May acceptance, kindness and peace live steadily within this ancient enduring land. Amen.
Amen. Continue with the prayer for the people and state of Israel. It can be found in the prayer book on page 377.
Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ohavayich. Avinu Shebashamayim, Su Yisrael v'Goalo. Barech את מדינת ישראל, ראשית שמחת גאולתנו הגן עליה בעברת חסדיך, ופרוס עליך סוכת שלומך, ושלח לך ואמיתך לראשיך. שריה ויועציה ותקנם בעצה טובה לפניך, ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם ליושביה, ונאמר אמן.
Amen. And with the Torah still rising, we remain standing now as we return the scroll to the Ark on page 374 as Ben and Aidan come up to open the curtain for us.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו. הודו על ארץ ושמיים, בירם כלעמו, תהילה לכל חסידיו. ישראל עם קרובו, הללויה, הללויה. כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזובו. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה מאושר. דרכיה דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו כקדם, חדש ימינו כקדם.
Please be seated. So, Ollie, what point in the service have we arrived at? When you sit down and you're done. That's the point. Yes, you're right. We have arrived at the point in the service where you sit down and you're done, and it's my job to bore all your family and friends to make sure that we don't arrive at the caterer before the time your mother promised them. On Rosh Hashanah, I taught the congregation that we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. And the more I've offered that teaching from the Talmud, the more I've seen it ring true in every single aspect. Even the time that we finish a Mincha service on Shabbat afternoon. There are so many people who are involved in that. But it's amazing, as I stood on this bimah this afternoon, here's another one for you, mate. As I stood on the bimah this afternoon and I listened to the comments that were shared aloud, as well as the comments that were shared quietly. From the very start of the service, Ollie, when your father fumbled over the talit that he was placing on you, more focused on letting you know that the talit that you were wearing was one that had been passed down from generations to generations. And that the clips he was placing on it were clips that he was given on his bar mitzvah. And even though he knew full well, at least after about 30 seconds, that he'd put them on upside down, he wanted you to know that they were yours. Like the talit and like the yad, passed down from one generation to another. Part of your inheritance. A part of your inheritance which is easier, perhaps, than other parts to identify, because that talit, those clips, this yad, they're tangible. You can hold them, you can see them, you can look at them, you can polish them and clean them, as this clearly was before coming to Shul today. But there are also parts of your inheritance which you have received today which are far less tangible, far more difficult to hold in your hand, far more difficult to share with your friends, far more difficult to articulate or express. And a lot of them are part of your Jewish journey, but not all of them. Because this is not just part of who you are. Today is a celebration of all of who you are. The family that raised you, the parents that bore you, the room full of people who celebrate with you. You for who you are and who you are becoming. The things like that talit and those clips and this yad that we can touch and see, as well as the things we can only anticipate and that we look forward to. And when I think, as I said, about the words that were said on this bimah, those heard as well as those that have not been heard through today's service, there is one word that I heard reoccurring more than any other. I even found myself repeating it, using it. Thank you. Each time I invited someone to participate or to do something in the service, they thanked me. Doesn't always happen when the rabbi asks you to do something that the congregation thanks them. And they thanked each other and they thanked you. The opportunity to be able to share this moment. And you heard me thank your parents, because they could have chosen a myriad of ways to celebrate this milestone in your life. But connecting to this Shashelet HaKabbalah, this chain of tradition, that's the one that resonated so loudly for them. And I thanked you for finally, on the afternoon of your bar mitzvah, not being so hard on yourself. Not telling me all the things that you don't know or can't do, but demonstrating to yourself, not to anyone else, not to me, not to these people that have come here, but demonstrating to yourself how extraordinarily hard you've worked and how much this means to you. And so I thanked you for that too. But I have an appreciation, which is also one that I want to share this Shabbat, which extends beyond me to you, or you to these people, or us to your family and friends, but to the world in which we live today. Because when you received an invitation to come to Shul this afternoon, I doubt many of you were aware of the anniversary that we are commemorating this Shabbat. Because it is exactly 1 year, Shabbat Bereshit, a year ago, where a group of people, 3 different communities, gathered in Pittsburgh into a synagogue to worship and connect with history and heritage in 3 remarkably different ways. A renewal, a conservative, and an Orthodox congregation. Never would they imagine gathering together in the same room for the same service, but they gathered in the same building. And someone who was filled with hate walked in and disrupted that new beginning, that Shabbat Bereshit, murdering 11 people. Not the rabbi standing up the front, not the president sitting on the bimah. The people who got killed were those sitting in the back, those who came last or just wanted to sit there to read a book in the corner. And so, the next Shabbat, the Jewish world simply asked people to show up. Just show up. Don't know what you do. I don't mind if you bring a book or you come for the catering. But be present. Because there are so many people in this world that are telling us that our history and our heritage, that our differences are more important than the things that we have in common. And we need to push back about that. Now, when I spoke to your parents about your bar mitzvah and we put a date in the calendar, we had no idea this was going to happen. But what you've allowed us to do, and each and every one of you who have come this afternoon, is to do something extraordinary for this congregation. And so, in addition to all the thank yous that have been offered on behalf of this bar mitzvah, I want to thank you. Because our shul, our courtyard was full yesterday afternoon with people in their 20s and 30s having a Friday night drink as a way of showing up for Shabbat. And then after that, our sanctuary was full once more as we celebrated the lighting of Shabbat candles with a different segment of our community who joined together in song and celebration. This morning, Idor sat with a lot of primary coloured toys in the room next door for Tot Shabbat, and a lot of little kids that probably couldn't walk or talk this time a year ago, but they and their parents showed up for Shabbat. And then a little later today, earlier today, but later in the morning, we began our story again. And then it continues again with your bar mitzvah, a new chapter. So you provide me on this Show Up Shabbat with the opportunity to say thank you, not only to you, but to every single person who's come to celebrate with you. Because this celebration, your story, your bar mitzvah, is the most profound affirmation we could possibly imagine of the fact that there is more in this world that we have in common than divides us and defines us. And that, my friend, together with all the other things that you've shown us, is well worth celebrating. So I wish you Mazel Tov, Shabbat Shalom, and to you I say thank you. To each and every one of you too, I say thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Let's turn forward to page 586 as we close our service with the Aleinu prayers. I think two more of your cousins are making their way up to take on the daunting task of opening the curtain as the congregation rises. Page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצו, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We remain standing for a few more brief moments as we turn our thoughts to those who are no longer with us and ready ourselves to offer the words of Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found in our prayer books on page 598. We think first on this Shabbat, the Shoah Shabbat, of the 11 people who were taken from their families, their friends and their community at the Tree of Life Synagogue 1 year ago. We also think of those whose loss is more recent and whose Shiva, the first 7 days of their passing, we are still remembering as a community, and think of Lawrence Amor, Fred Moses, and Gary Weiss. On this Shabbat, we also continue to think of those whose Shloshim, the first 30 days since their passing, we are remembering as a broader community. And we think and offer blessings to the memory of Ron Aarons, Peter Curtis, Susie Symbolist, Robert Smorgan, and Louis Waller. To these names, we also add those names that lay deep within our hearts, those who we wish could be with us on a celebratory occasion such as this, and those whose lives we know go on living through our acts and our deeds on our very best days. We think of them as we give thanks for life with the words of Kaddish Yatom on page 598. יתגדל ויתקדש שומר הבא. בעמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ויומכון ובחי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה וזמן קריב ואמרו. אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עמי עמיה. יפרח וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. ברכו. לעולם מן כל ברכת ושירתה. Tushbachata v'nechemata damiran ba'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to all of us, to all humanity, and to that we say, Amen. Please be seated. Ollie, I'm going to ask you to come up here because I know that Rebecca has a couple of presentations for you. But just in advance of that, I should say Rebecca Silk, our president of our Board of Governance, has a few presentations. I have a yard to give you back.
Thank you.
And I have one last thank you. And I think it's to your mother, because these are the softest lollies we've seen all year. And I usually go home on shul like with bruises and welts all over me. These are extraordinary. You are now in charge of getting lollies every single week.
Thank you, Rabbi. I agree about the soft lollies. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ido, for your liturgy today. And welcome, everyone, from the Board of Temple Beth Israel. Lovely to have you all here this afternoon to celebrate. A special welcome to the Krantz, the Bletcher and Bolgi families and friends, the school friends, and especially those of you who've travelled from the United States. Very warm welcome. And welcome to anyone watching online. Very good to have you as well. Mazel tov, Ollie, you did a great job in leading the service. Yeah, even though you were very nervous. Yeah. But you were really well prepared, and so was your dad. And we've all had a wonderful experience of prayer and celebration. And now you can start to enjoy it. Ollie, you're blessed with a close and warm extended family, with connections to America, to Israel, and to Turkey. Rabbi Gersh just called that diverse, and I agree. And I think that the food at your place on a celebratory occasion must be really fantastic. Ollie, your connection to TBI goes back to the preschool there, where you started your schooling, and we're delighted that your family has found a spiritual home here. You told me you enjoyed your bar mitzvah preparation with Jade, and she told me you were really self-motivated, and we know that you worked hard on the program. People who know you know that you like to spend your spare time outdoors, you love your footy, scootering at the skate park, and you love your skiing. And you're all about to have a holiday where I hope you'll be able to do some skiing as well.
Definitely.
Ollie, you're a kind-hearted person and you are mature beyond your years. You connect to your Judaism and its values, and we could tell that from your drush, where you're educating us about caring for the world. I'm sure you'll bring meaning to all that you do, and you will contribute to making the world a better place. And I have some presentations for you. Here is a certificate, which shows that it really did happen today. We have a book for you on our beautiful stained glass windows around the sanctuary. And we have some other certificates. We have a certificate of membership of the Union for Progressive Judaism, our roof body. And we have a voucher for the next Netzer camp. Have you been to a Netzer camp?
I haven't.
There you are. So this will help you to attend that camp. And we have a gift, which is a Kiddush cup. And that's all for you. Mazel tov. We will have a final song, and then please do go into the Sloan Hall behind me for the next stage of your celebration. And if you would kindly return your books to the trolley on your way. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. We'll make Kiddush after before we go in, but a final song before that. It is a favourite of mine. Od Yavosh Shalom Aleinu. It can be found on page. Well, I'll get there. I'll get there once Ido gets us there. On page 657, 657.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלם, סלם. סלם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלם, סלם. יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם.
And so we can't really touch time and space, but we have another memento, another artifact of this occasion, your Kiddush cup. With your parents' permission, I'm filling it up with unleaded. It's actually fully leaded, to be honest. That is for you, and that is for you, and I hope is that the way we're going to say Kiddush. Just like his father, straight into it. Sorry. Do you want to pass that to your wife? There you go. But why is it that we use wine on these occasions? In the hope that the sweetness as well as the aroma linger with us and remind us of the joy of this occasion. We'll be going straight on in to share a meal and to share blessings with each other. But in advance of that, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Shabbat shalom and mazel tov. Now you can drink. Have a sip at your bar mitzvah. Have a sip. Apparently he's not like he's there. Please join us in slow mo. You guys get in there, otherwise you'll get mobbed.